Hi, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how you can create a free logo in Canva, but I'm also going to show you some of the faults with it if you want a free design. Skip ahead to this time frame here. So we're going to go to the search bar here and we're just going to put in logo, and as you can see we've got hundreds and hundreds of different designs. Now don't worry, I will show you how to actually create a design. I'm not simply going to rely on one of these. Now, two things you have to be aware of. The first thing is if you go to one of these with a crown in it, that is for the pro version of Canva, so it won't be free. In addition, if you've got one that's got this symbol in it and says paid, then again, you're going to have to pay for that design. So anything else which is completely clear, you can choose from. So the best thing is if you're not a creative, often you can spend hours and hours going through all the different fonts, the font sizes and all the different designs. So I find one of the best things to do is actually go through and have a little search. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of these designs. And often what you'll find is the pro element is usually the actual graphic of the logo, but you can still utilize the font. So scrolling through here really helps with font design because it really can take so long to choose a particular font. So all you need to do is go through and pick a font or font designs, often two going together, that you really like. So let's say, for example, I like this design here. This comes in black and white, but if I click on this design here, it will ask me if I want to customize this template. So I'll just click on that, and I'll end up with a template here and also the black design here. Now I'm going to show you how this is made up because it's really simple. If I click on this text here and move this box, that's just simply some text. This down here is also some text. In the middle here is just a white box like this, and this one here is just simply a box with a black surround. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these out and I'm going to show you how you can actually design them. But before you delete them, you must record what font this is. If you really like the font, so click on it, go to the top and you'll see the name of the font. You'll also see the font size if you want to copy it directly. And again, in the bottom here, you can also see the font is here. So sometimes, even if you don't want to create the exact design that they've got, but you love the font, this is where choosing one of those designs can be a real help because this is where you can find out what font they've used. So let's just delete everything and start from scratch. So if I wanted to start that logo from scratch, I'm going to go to text and I'm going to select heading. It really doesn't matter which style you choose because you can customize it completely. So let's just go to add a heading. And as that's all selected, I can go to my fonts and click on the drop down and go over to the side here and type in that font. As I type, you can see it comes up here and I'm going to click on it and you can see that's the font that was there originally. So all I need to do now is put my text in, so select it and I'm going to choose Lisa Doe. And then you can simply use these corner balls here to change the size of this text. You don't necessarily have to go up to the top here and utilize this. It's just so easy to use the balls on the side. Now I'm just going to get all of my design features in first and then we'll go ahead and align everything up. So I'm going to go back to text again. I'm going to add another body of text here and I'm going to type in tutorials. Okay, let's change that to uppercase, select it, go to uppercase. There we go. And again, I'm going to choose that different font, which is Montserrat Classic. There we go. And also, as you see at the bottom here, the text for the photography is actually a little bit spaced out, whereas the text here isn't. So all I'm going to do is go to this icon here that says spacing, and then I'm just going to adjust the letter spacing. Now, I haven't actually selected the text, so I've just got to click inside and select all of the text, go to spacing, and then just increase the letter spacing just to suit my logo. You don't have to copy the other one, you can just do it to suit. And again, if you want to make this text bigger or smaller, just use the balls on the corners to move them in and out. Okay, so we're going to move that. You can use this icon here to move everything as well if you can't grab hold of it. If you find you can't grab hold of these things, it's usually because the cursor is inside, and with the cursor inside you can't move. It wants you to select things. So just use that icon there. Okay, now we're going to select the square. So go to Element and then go to Lines and Shapes and just click on the square. And then if you want to maintain a square when you resize this, you have to hit the Shift key. So hit the Shift key, click on the outside ball and stretch it across like this. And then we can just simply move that around. Now I'm going to make this square quite big. And I'll tell you the reason why. When you export this logo, it will export the whole lot. So the black background square and all of this text here. So that can sometimes create quite a small logo, and you have to really stretch it out to see it depending on where you're inserting your logo. So I'm actually going to make my logo quite big on this canvas. So I'm just going to stretch that out a bit more. Then I'm going to go and add a border. So I'm going to add a black border line here. You can change the border weight here. So you just literally slide in and out. I'm going to keep mine at 4, and then I'm going to go to the colour here and I'm going to say no colour on the inside. So that's my square, and then I'm going to insert another line. So go to Elements again and click on the square again, and this is where we'll create that white rectangle that sort of cuts through that square. I'll put it about here. There we go. And then again, change the colour of that rectangle to white. Okay, so now we've got all of our basic elements in this logo, but as you can see, nothing is aligned. First of all, if you put in this rectangle and it's covering this text, you need to go to Position and you need to go to Layers. Now the Layers panel is great because you can move the layers around. So you see this rectangle that we've introduced. If I put it on top of my text, you can see it's now covering my text because it's effectively on top of it. So you need to make sure you've got it between the text and the square. If I put it behind the square, it's going to do absolutely nothing. You've got to put it on top of that square there. So now we need to align everything. So first of all, you can select everything. You can go to Position, go to Arrange, and make sure everything is centered. Now, of course, you don't want everything in the middle because this will happen. Okay, so if I go back, Command or Control Z, everything is currently centered, so I can now use my arrow keys to just move down the text as I see fit. Now, to me, that writing's too small, so I'm going to grab the corner and pull it out. So this is no longer centered. So I'm just going to see if I've got the right size text. Perfect. So I can go back to Position now and go to Center. And then if I really want to double check, I can center everything once again. So now everything is centered with each other. It's not centered to the page, but centered to each other. However, I need to group it first. And now you can see it's not quite centered to the page. So you need to go back up to Position and click Center and then click Middle. And it will all be perfectly centered in the middle of your page. Now you can go out by using this zoom here and you can see if your design is exactly what you want. Now you can see I've made it a lot bigger than this one at the bottom, and the reason for that is, as I'm going to show you now, I'm going to delete this page because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to zoom in. This is where the real difference between a free design and a paid design comes in. So go to Share and go to Download. Now in the downloads, you can click on the drop down and you can select from a number of different options, but ideally you'd want a logo in a PNG or an SVG file. That means it would be very easy to resize, but also it means that you have the option of a transparent background. And as you can see here, you do not have the option of downloading this with a transparent background unless you pay for the Canva Pro version. So what does this mean for you? Well, it basically means that when you download this, you will download the entire white background and the black writing and graphics. You will not just download the black writing and the black graphics, which means that if you put this on a coloured background, you will get the white background. Now, if you have every intention of your logo going on nothing but a white background for a website, for advertising, for marketing, for letters, etc., If they're all going to be white, that's absolutely fine, and this will work really well for you. But like we saw before, if you had the black one and you wanted it to go on a white background, you will have that black border around the outside. So if you're very happy to have the white background, go ahead and download it as a PNG and click download. And there you just go to your downloads. So if I go to my downloads, you can see my logos at the top here, and if I double click on it, you can see this is exactly what it's downloaded. So that will be perfect if you wanted to put this on a website or advertising, letterheads, all that sort of thing. But again, you will have this white background. So I hope that's helped you today. If it has, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.